do. I guess I do. Um, hmm. I want this to be higher up because I don't want to look inappropriate here. Too low, you know. I want it to be too low. Let's make sure. Okay. We'll just keep it here, you guys. We'll just keep it here. I don't have that much time, but I figure I would drop in with you guys for like 20 minutes and just have a little catch up with me where we just talk like friends, you know, give you guys a little bit of tea on me, what's been going on and in my life. We just have a conversation. And, you know, as I go through life as well, you guys, I have my own experiences on my journey and whatnot. So I'll share, you know, some observations I've made, you know, as I progress through the healing process. All right. But first thing first, um, I'll get this out the way. These are not dreads. I'm not dreading my hair, even though I think, you know, dreads would be a really cute thing for me. I'm at home right now, you guys, and when I'm at home, I'm in usually my most naturalist, purest state. No makeup, nothing, pretty much. This is just a protective style I wear under my laces. About a year ago, I cut my hair down to an inch. I had some really bad heat damage, and I was so mad at myself because I had reached a um, a mark, if you will. My hair was as long as it had ever been, and I was so excited about that because I love long hair on myself. I am growing it back to there, you know, actually pretty quickly. You know, this camera isn't doing much justice. Anyone out there that know about shrinkage and all that, but my hair is growing back very quickly, and I love it. I'm pretty sure in a year and a half from now, my hair will probably be longer than before I cut it, which is going to be fabulous for me. You know, that's my personal choice. Other than that, I'm wearing this shirt right now with the built-in bra. Um, and I'm going to get into that real quick too. It's really cute, but you know, I'm not going to like show you guys that I don't want to be inappropriate. But either way, I had a little bit of a health concern, a little health scare over the past month, and it just came through, and I don't want to say it turned my life upside down because that's maybe a little bit too strong, but it got my fucking attention. it definitely it definitely got my attention. Um, this started maybe a month ago, you guys. I um, was wearing a tight bra, which is usually a no-no for me. But I had a video chat with someone and I was in a rush. So I just grabbed what I could grab, okay? And I put this bra on and I only wore it for like 4 or 5 hours and I took it off. I didn't think much of it. It was a little bit sore and the under the one arm when I did. I was like, "Ugh, poor baby." In my mind, I'm like, "I'm never gonna do that to you again, breast." you know. But nonetheless, I took it off and went about my day. But the next day, I'm like literally feeling under my arm, and I feel these two little bumps, and I'm like thinking that I gave myself a boil or something, you know, from the friction. You know, I'm like, oh my god, I gave myself a boil. What the hell? Gross, Lakia. And the first thing I thought about was like my wax appointment, which was like 2 weeks later. I was like, well, I need to get this under control. I don't want anything going on. So by the time my wax appointment come, you know, everything is business as usual. So I'm on YouTube watching all these videos and like, don't put nothing on your arm, you know, fragrance and all this other stuff. Chill out. So I'm like not wearing any bras or anything, not even wearing deodorant, um, rubbing like neem oil and shit, you know, using a heating pad, and they were getting smaller. I was like, okay, they're getting smaller. Everything's on an up and up. But then I want to say about day 4 into 5, I get a rash under my arm. Rash under my arm. And I'm like, oh my God, like it kept spreading and growing, and it was itching so bad like I had poison ivy. Um, and it was basically flaring and inflamed. What I believe happened in that moment was, although I was getting rid of one issue, I was clearly causing another one. Maybe I had some bacteria like get into the boil, even though I thought the boil was not open, but maybe it was slightly open. I don't know. And that caused this whole thing. This caused this whole thing with me where I had to go to my doctor um, and see them. Let me show you on my other phone. I could find a picture. The people in the support group, I did share it with them. If you're on a support group, you probably already heard about it. Man, it's like one thing was leading to another, was leading to another, was leading to another. So this is a picture of what it was looking like. And again, you can't really tell that much, but it was very sensitive. It was damn sure inflamed, red as hell. The doctor used like this surgery marker, and she marked my breast because it had started to go in a little bit into my breast area and shoulder area and bicep area. She said if it starts to spread past this line, come back, definitely give me a call. But in the meantime, put this on your ingrown hair. She was like, it's not a boil, Lakia. Those are just two ingrown hairs. But what happened was they probably opened, a bacteria got into it, and that's causing an infection here and inflammation as well. So it did continue to spread. You know, I asked her to be more aggressive. I was like, well, can't we just start the antibiotics and the steroid cream today? She was like, no, I want you to try this for 7 to 10 days. Da, 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 da. So by day 2, it got worse. And I called them back and I just wanted relief. I'm like, these creams ain't doing ish. Like, I need something stronger. And the doctor had a nurse call me and say, you need to be more patient when da 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 da. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I have really good insurance. I don't need referrals. Fuck that. I'm getting a second opinion. So take that advice from me. If you're going through something, because you know you're the one that has to deal with the uncomfortableness, and you're the one that's you're ultimately in the thick of that health crisis or whatever you got going on. If something don't feel right, you know, when a doctor tells you something, just like we should be tapped into our intuition, period, do what you got to do. So I ended up going to an urgent care doctor. That was my next move. And they took a look at it and they was like, hell yeah, take this steroid cream, take these antibiotic pills, and you're going to hopefully see an improvement within 2 days. But unfortunately, if you don't have that improvement in 2 days, you definitely have to go to a hospital, and they're going to have to knock it out through, you know, an IV, like that type of thing. Because by then, not only had it been under my arm, on my bicep, I started developing contact dermatitis. It was like here, there, my back. Oh my God, you guys, it was itching into my belly button, like right here, behind my back, on my shoulders. Like everything was irritating my skin at that point. She said, you know, fragrance-free everything for you, Lakia. Rewash all of your clothes and your blankets. Like, it's like I stepped into a new world now. It triggered me into something else. I wouldn't say that I've had the most sensitive skin in my life, but I've had sensitivity, especially in my face. I feel I'm very easy to get a heat rash type of thing. But I've never had to only use free and clear detergent. But guess what, you guys? Yeah, that's where my life is. Like, I've literally had to rewash everything. And it reminds me of a movie I seen when I was a teenager, someone who had to live inside of a bubble. Not quite, because there are people who are really that sensitive. But I definitely had to alter the things that I was coming into contact and be extremely mindful about it. Even now, I was over someone's house the other day. I was like, what do you wash your laundry with? Because I was already starting to itch. As far as the situation, it's under control, but it's not completely done. I want to say I have 95% um, out of the woodwork in my mind. As far as the worst case of it, I still have itchy patches, but it's not extreme per se. And I'm managing it. There's still a lot of redness. Like I could see a clear red outline of the areas where it was taking place. And if I go into a shower and just put hot water on my skin, it will flare very quickly. It'll, like, if I need to know where is it itching right now, if it's not itching right now and I go in a hot shower, put hot water, it's going to start itching. It'll let me know where it's still something going on. She has me on a different cream because you can't keep using that steroid cream for too long. And honestly, did its job where I needed something lesser, because I put it on the next time I put it on, which was one day too much. It was actually irritating my skin instead of soothing it. So the cream that she's got me is like, it's like a Vaseline, but there's something active in it that's going to help with the minor, with the stage that I'm in right now while I'm making all of the changes. I already had Aveeno products in my shower mixed in with my Dove and Oil of Olay and Hilton shampoos that I especially bought and all types of stuff, but I damn sure got a lot more of it. Aveeno fragrance free, because they have fragrance free and then they have lightly fragrance, which smells so nice. I just wash my hands with that. But yeah, Aveeno'd out right now. Their fragrance free lotion. I even have their skin oils, and I only put that on my knees and elbows. I have a very minimalistic thing. I only use white washcloths. I've been purchasing stacks of them like once a week. Like, I might not even reuse it depending on how it washes with my free and clear detergent. Right now I'm using Tide Free and Clear, but my girlfriend, who has had extra sensitive skin since she was a child, she told me about a vegan detergent. I'm going to give that a try as well. I think she's called Seventh. I seen that at my supermarket because they have a dish detergent as well. Seventh something, I don't know. But I did tell her I seen it before. I just never used it. So far, the Tide Free and Clear seems to be working. I change my bedding like every 2 days, which reminds me of my ex. I used to give her a hard way to go when she needed to change her pillowcases. And I'm like, well, I understand now. She was so funny about it because her skin was sensitive. I'm like, some things you just understand it better when you have to wear those shoes. But the scary part about this whole situation is my lymph nodes had gotten really swelled under my arm, which also reminded me of my ex who had breast cancer and had a couple of lymph nodes took out. So my fear was that, I was getting some form of cancer, which you can get some type of the skin rashes like that and be a form of cancer. So I was just like really nervous about that. But the dermatologist did put me at ease. She was like, I understand your concern, but the way that this one is, activated, I feel confident that that's not the case. But we can biopsy your skin. I have a mammogram set up and all of this, you guys. But yeah, but you have to, I don't know how many of you have sensitive skin, but you understand it better if you're one of those people, and they told me, once something like this happens, it could, happen to me again. But it's kind of like there's no turning back now that you have those sensitivities. But through my research, because it don't take me long to start looking into these things, you also want to make sure you're dealing with it from the inside out. You know, of course, you're putting on the topical creams and all of that. The antibiotics goes internally, but also usually lowering the amount of sugar that you're eating and carbs and stuff. The bready types, if staying away from that, keeping your body alkaline, which I typically do. I drink essential water all day, but I've gone back to even having lemon water. Like, I'm just being very mindful about my internals, because I find, that is probably helping me heal quicker as well. And it's really a routine thing. And I know I mentioned on this channel talking about my chart a lot, like astral chart, which is a science that lets you see probabilities and things that may happen to you in life. And I do see where it's definitely quite possible for me to have what I have going on here. Usually if you have a lot of Capricorn placements, you can definitely have skin issues, and Virgo as well. So, our skin is our biggest organ, and I'm definitely taking it serious, you guys. I'm sorry. I need to put my charger on, but I want to flash my boobies at the same token. So I'm taking it with me. But I'm very thankful, you guys, that things are getting better. I'm doing a lot better. But I also have in my chart where I have, in this lifetime, I really have to get used to routines. Structure, routine, doing the same thing every day, being consistent with that is a lesson that I have to do. So this is one more thing going on in my life that requires me to be structured, requires me to do the same thing over and over, especially when it comes to applying those creams twice a day. The same type of cleaning. It's very systematic here, keeping my skin happy and getting things good right now. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm doing it and I'm feeling better. And thank you for everybody on the support group that sent that message. I know none of us are going to live forever. And I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was like, I deserve to die one day, because we work hard on this earth. We do a lot, meaning your soul deserves to get that rest eventually. I'm not ready yet. I'm not calling that in. I'm not calling that in. And that's why I definitely, the support group is on Facebook. Yeah, if you go under any of my videos, it's usually there. And I'll pin it to the top of here when I get off of here. I'll do that for you. But yeah, it's on Facebook. But yeah, definitely not ready to go yet. That's God's call, but I'm not ready to go yet. So I'm really glad that this is under control, because every day, all day, stuff flashes on my phone where people, no problem, sweetie, and welcome to the live, where people are having the worst day of their life and having their last day of their life. Okay, so I'm thankful. There are things that I want to do, which shifts me into the next part of catching up with me. So yes, your girl officially classified with sensitive skin now. Having this contact dermatitis, and I'm working my way through that, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But secondly, for the last couple of years of my life, I was really bent on making a decision to purchase this really big house, and all of this stuff kept going on in the housing market, and it just seemed like it wasn't the best time to do it. It was just like, wait. There's 81, the year that I was born, confirmation. So I was feeling bummed out about it. I really was, you guys. But guess what? I was like, God, you're funny. You're a funny man. He started putting it in my spirit. Like he was saying, girl, I want you to be a little bit free right now. I don't want you to be too tied down with, $1 million house, literally, because I was going for something pretty expensive, you guys. I don't want you to be that tied down. And he put in me the desire to want to travel more right now. So that's the next thing. Like, my perspective has really started to shift over the last couple of months as far as my perspective really started to shift as far as, wanting to take that on. Just this second, I was like, well, I think I want to do a little bit of traveling first, just before I take that on and have to get super duper serious in life, okay? Not that I'm not serious already, God. You guys have no idea. So I want to plan a few trips minimally before this year is over. And definitely making a big one on my birthday. Should I share with you guys? Or should I just let it be a surprise when it happens? Should I share one of the locations? I want to go to the Maldives. I want to go to the Maldives. I think I want to go for my birthday. I'm like, when, Lakia, do you want to go? I think that's already rain season for them, is it not? I started doing research on this and how I'm going to pull this all together. But I want to go to the Maldives. Yeah, so I'm like getting the twins their passports, and we about to be out. Like, I'm legit gonna take a few fly ass trips this year, more if I can. I want to do at least one a month. I would love to do one a month, especially when they're out of school for the summer. Like, I would want to do even more than that then. I'm just trying to be a little realistic, as well. So that's that. So I plan on getting some traveling done, you guys. I definitely want to do that. But I wanted to also talk about, my healing journey, and quickly, because I have some meetings coming up. I wanted to touch on, because this channel does talk about emotional maturity. So I know I got a little personal with you guys in the beginning of this talk. But back to the topic of this channel, talking about, doing the inner works and progressing, increasing those emotional maturity. I really can see, I'm seeing more and more my own evolution and how I deal with people, how I receive people, how I react to people, how I respond to people, and I'm loving it. I'm fucking loving it. I no longer, I remember times in my life where I took things so personally in my personal relationships, and that comes with emotional maturity, to learn not to take things personally, how people respond or don't respond, how they show up or don't show up for you, how a person treats you. A lot of times, before I got to a certain point in my own evolution, I was taking that so personally, and I was making it about me. What's wrong with me? Da, 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 da. And now, I really allow people, and for quite some time, this just didn't just happen. I really allow people to be themselves, and no matter how shitty of a behavior they choose, a shitty response, a shitty choice that they make with me, um, I'm able to just let them own that. I'm really able to let people own their choices and own who they are. And I allow myself to keep it moving as well. And it's without any animosity, because they are where they are in their evolution and I am where I am. Like, it's really, I don't care how personal the relationship is. When someone does something, it doesn't mean I don't have a human moments, or I don't have feelings where I'm like, well, that wasn't nice. Yeah, I can say that wasn't nice, but I can also completely not detach to that in a personal manner, to where it's bringing me down. Like, no, if anything, I'll premeditate it almost. Like if I know that someone has an issue, especially if they showed me this issue one time and maybe they're not ready to acknowledge it, or they don't have the self-awareness to see it. For instance, I made plans to go out with someone, and clearly this person had some self-esteem issues, and the person didn't come to the event because a few things that I was completely aware of. They didn't want to be straightforward with me about it, and begged me for a second opportunity to make another time for me to make time for them. Now, of course, I didn't have to do this, but I did it in a way that, how can I say this? That wasn't a risk for me. I didn't invest more than I could give. I was like, okay, I'm going to make these plans, or if anything, I allowed them to make the plans. All right. And if they don't show up, I already have something else lined up. I already have a plan B, a plan C. Like my eggs aren't all in a basket. So we made the plans, and the person didn't show up for a second time. Now, of course, at this point, I'm not going to give this person another opportunity. And it's not something that I even have to say out loud because they already understand this. And if anything, a mirror just got put in front of their face. Like they're very naked in front of this mirror about themselves. Not me. Life goes on for me. I still had plans. I had planned for the event that this person's, shadow side came out. It wasn't nothing for me to cry about or be upset about. I just went about it. I'm like, okay, well, now they know. And now I know that we know it's crystal clear, if that makes sense to you guys. RJ says, do you think more people are narcissistic now, or do you think it's after you experienced it, almost everyone seems to have those traits? Um, well, narcissistic and narcissist are two different things. So if you want to say, hey, can a person have narcissistic traits? Yes, they can. You can have narcissistic traits without being a narcissist. I do believe in today's culture that that word is being overused. Someone can be an asshole and not be a narcissist. Someone can be a cheater and all these things and necessarily not be technically a narcissist. So I do think that people overuse that word. After you experience it and you do the healing and you get educated, maybe it's easier for you to pick up on people's shadow sides. Maybe it's easier for you to, see where people fall short, but it doesn't have to make them a narcissist. But I think when people are still in a sensitive stage of healing from possible narcissistic abuse, or definitely just healing from a traumatic situation, it can make it easier for them to think that everyone's a narcissist before they're fully informed, and before they reach a certain level of healing. So I think that's what happens. I think people are flying off of their emotions when they're not to a certain point of the healing process, and they are thinking that everybody is one. Yeah. I think that's more so what's happening, but everyone's definitely not one. If anything, the healing process, when you get far into it, it softens you up, not to be a sucker, but it softens you up to be able to just slow down a little bit and be present in moments and really feel stuff and have that self-awareness to see what I'm doing, to see what you're doing, and not mix the two. Energetically, you'll probably become unrecognizable to the people who used to manipulate you, and that's a beautiful thing. And even if you don't become unrecognizable to them, I just believe it is energetically. I mean, once you make that shift, unless they're retarded and delusional, which some people kind of are, but they'll still know whether they like it or not, or want to give you that credit or want to acknowledge that about you. They'll know. They'll know. They'll know. But you're able to just be chill with it. Like it's not like when people do stuff, it's not letting me down. If anything, they let our connection down, but it's not letting me down. Does that make sense? um they let our connection down, so that just weakens or eliminates the connection I have with you. It's like that with me. It's not, no, you're not letting me down. If anything, you're revealing parts of yourself that I need to see about you. And I'm damn sure making those notes because you learned a long time ago not to ignore those red flags and how those come back. If anything, like, it's so crazy. Like, God will give you a chance to put these things into play. You'll have time to practice these things, and it's going to be so funny. You won't be able to go back because you're just going to know better, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to listen to it. RJ says, yes, a lot of people lose people. Mm-hmm. They lose the connection. Yeah. But, they don't deserve it. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to be interrupted. So RG says, because where there is one narc, there's many, possibly. Possibly. And RJ says, some people never experience people who are considerate, right? And they don't even know what to do with it. So if they mishandle your love and care, they're not ready for it. And that's their problem and it's not yours. It's not, an unhealed person or a codependent person will take that personally. Oh, and now they're all heartbroken because someone couldn't receive their love and care, can receive their friendship, can receive their loyalty. They can receive it. But yeah, it's awesome. Once you get to a certain point, I've closed my computer and it is still making noise. It's like the phone calls I get while I'm on the phone with you guys. It just doesn't stop. It really doesn't stop. But ugh, I would have to completely shut down. All right. All right, I know what I'll have to do. Just close this out. There we go. Shouldn't be able to ring. Oh my God. But yeah, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. I've met so many people over the last few months. Just being out here socializing and dating and all, like a ton of people. And it's given me, now that's Outlook. I shut Teams off. Now Outlook is like ringing. I can't, you guys. I really can't. I really can't. But I've met so many people, and it's given me a lot of reinforcements for my own self. But I'm really happy with myself. Like, I'm just really happy with the progressions, how I peep stuff, and how I'm able to filter things and get out of situations that I need to get out of. Pretty much. Pretty much. So that's good. That's just something to look forward to. And then when people do fuck shit or things that's just going to weaken the connection or obliterate it, it's just that. It's not obliterating me. It's not weakening me per se. And that's just a really good way to deal with it. And that's something I would encourage you guys to take on, in your own dealings with people, you know, no matter how long you've known them. Allow people to be who they are. Don't be surprised when they are just that. Don't take it personally because they are who they are. And then make it more so about if they let anything down, it was the connection. It's not me per se. You're not letting me down. I'm still up. Like I'm responsible for, my own emotional stability and happiness. And I don't give other people reins to that. So, yeah. And even if you feel like someone blindsided, like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. It's just more like that. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Oh, okay. Like and you know where that comes from? There have been at least more than two. There have been a handful of situations where someone has took me down to the deep end. Like when you've been crushed at a certain time or you felt crushed. I wasn't literally crushed, but that's how I felt emotionally devastated from a traumatic event. When you've had those type of experiences, it does make your skin thicker. It's like, well, what else? It's only up from here, for the most part. It's really only up from here. But because I've had those experiences where I've been in those very dark moments, I feel literally, I'm going to say unshakable, but it would be very hard for someone to try to move me in a certain way. And the funny part is, when you have emotional maturity, the devil don't like it. He will literally send people to prick at you, to try to get a reaction from you, to see if this is really the case. You know how many people come into my life just to see if they can get a response from me, just to see if they can get me to fall down, because they don't like seeing you winning. They don't like seeing you strong. There's an energy, just like there's an energy that wants to see you win. Guess what? Someone's on assignment to be a catalyst to that. That's why everything has a yin and a yang, And there's people that they want to make it their point just to try to like bring you down. Like people legit came into my life just to try to make me feel like I wasn't nothing. But how are you going to do that with a person that doesn't give that authority to anybody? You can't. And, people end up just playing themselves, wasting a lot of their energy and feeling like a dumbass because you're just being you. And I allow people to be them. I'll decide how long I'm going to stand in presence of that, though. But you're not penetrating my self-worth. You don't have the authority for that. So you got to know that. Some people, they get their rocks off by coming into other people's lives and turning it upside down and, trying to kick people down because they're not happy inside. They're being used for negativity, or they're unhealed in their own traumas that they haven't dealt with. That's causing them to just have a bunch of shitty ass relationships, But as long as you keep your power and what you can take control of, which isn't what other people are doing and saying, but what you allow to penetrate your mind and your essence, who you call a friend, okay, how quick or how slow you're moving with someone, how much access to trust, if in any at all, So, but ultimately, I trust myself. I trust myself to make the best decisions for me. And as long as I could do that, I could be around people. I can get to know others. I don't have to isolate myself because I trust myself to make proper boundaries. I trust myself to make these calls, And when you understand, how things work on a spiritual realm as well, that's important. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here because I have too many notifications coming from all freaking angles. I wasn't going to be on here that long anyway, but I hope that, I hope my talk helps somebody, give you something to think about. But, there are people on assignment, but you're on your own assignment too, right? You're on your own assignment too. And don't allow anybody to knock you off of it, because distractions are real. And people have been distracted for years, in these unhealthy relationships. But just take your lessons and do better for sure. You definitely can. You definitely can. And that don't have to be you. Like, you'll elevate you from going through so much shit from other people. That should definitely teach you, if you're smart and don't like repeating cycles, it's going to teach you something. As long as you allow it to do that, you're going to be okay. You're definitely going to be okay. And man, it's amazing to get to that place where you may want something, but you don't need it. You're not coming from that needy energy. And like I said, your agenda is wanting to actually get to know that person. Your agenda isn't rushing ahead of the relationship. It's not fantasizing and romanticizing what something's going to be. It's no, I'm really vetting you. And when I say vet, it's not just in a romantic sense, you guys. You could vet a company. You could vet a business partner. You could vet any damn body. It just means I'm paying attention. The intention is to not have the rosy colored glasses. It's to see exactly what you're presenting to me, as unbiased as possible. It's hard to be completely unbiased. I made a video about that, but you can be pretty damn unbiased. You can be unbiased enough to where you're seeing enough of the truth for sure. Okay, where you can make informed decisions for sure. And that's what you want. And when people, once you're really open to that, and then here's the kicker. You could throw some power behind it. Just say, God, show me. God, reveal it to me. The second, I'm telling you, usually the second I say that to God, within 24 hours, something is revealed to me. Whether you wanted it to be that or not, maybe you had high hopes for it to be going to the right and he showed you something into the left. Like, well, before you go running into the right, you need to know this. He's going to show you. He's going to show you with eyes that want to see. Think about in the past when you didn't want to see something. It comes back to bite you in the ass. But as long as you really want to see it, not be delusional and not see something that's not there, that's paranoia. People who've gotten hurt and then they just always see the worst in people. Everything somebody does for them, they're interpreting it into something that's negative because they're so traumatized. And the world is so scary to them. There's nothing good. So, of course, you're always going to see that. You're always going to see the negative. And people on this channel can be guilty of that, too, because you've been through so much shit. Not just the narcissist, or not just, the, what would we call them? The offender, so to speak. You may be subconsciously doing that. And that's rough too. I believe that I've had relationships with at least more than a couple people that were so fucked up from being fucked over from other people that by the time they met me, they weren't able to receive me fully because they had all that other shit, and that's the danger. And that's a shame because God's like, because you had all of this shit, I'm trying to give you someone that's not, this is a reward. You made it through all of that. You're going to get a better person. You're going to get a better quality person. So don't you guys sabotage yourself. You can get a good person. Yes, people can be fake and phony too. But with your emotional maturity, you'll learn how to, discern the difference, you guys. But I don't want you to fuck up a good thing too because you're so, you're living in the past. Learn from it, but don't live in it. Learn from it, you guys, but don't live in it. If anything, because you went through all of that, you deserve to have your happy ending. Don't rob yourself of that. Too many people was always going to be this way, living in the past. They're bringing in they're setting those same intentions because it happened a million times. Doesn't mean it has to happen a million more times, But we have to step out of that energy and, allow ourselves to really move on. Okay? Really move on. Really move on. It was certain times where I was like, I don't even want to talk about that trauma that I went through anymore. It's like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, I'm so past it. It becomes old news. Like, I done already took everything I could take out of it. I already took the lessons, Like, it's like, I don't even want to talk about it. You know, some people 30 years later, they're still talking about what happened in 1980 something. You know what I mean? Like, because they haven't really moved past it enough. And they're making it a part of their identity. And that's not the way that life experiences are supposed to be. I mean, we're talking about experiences. You experience it in a moment, yes. And depending on what you experience, there can be, you know, some things that you're going to have to deal with, especially when it's trauma. But you start dealing with those things, and hopefully it can move you away from the experience where you can move past the experience. Yeah, you could take the wisdom and still move past the experience, you know. It doesn't have to become a part of your name, okay? It doesn't become a part of your name. So when you start doing that, it opens up a whole nother existence to you. You know, it's a whole nother existence, and that's a beautiful one. Trust me, you know, I feel like that's where I'm at right now at this time. And it's beautiful. Like, your eyes will just be open. You know, having open eyes is a beautiful thing. A lot of people may not want to because there's certain things that they don't want to see. But oh my God, this thing says 5%. I'm about to go, you guys. It was nice checking in. You know, we got a good 45 minutes. And, you know, I'll be checking in with you guys. I hope everybody's well. I hope this isn't dimming and stuff because this is legit about to cut off. I love you guys. Never give up on yourself, all right? Keep doing the work, and I will see you guys in the next upload, in the next live, okay? Take care, you guys. All this time, I thought